computer. There we go. All right. We're live. We're rolling. I love it. Oh my goodness. I've got to tell you, last night just before I went to bed, I had two messages. One from Becky, who has had a heart attack and is in the hospital. Yeah. So she was messaging us from the hospital saying that apparently they discovered she had one before, but she didn't know it. And so now they're having to do some sort of a cardiac cath thing with her. And so she's in the hospital at the moment. And the other one's from Sophia, and her father-in-law died last night. So here I am going into bed, and I'm getting all these weird messages from people about stuff going on, you know. It was just like, whoa, strange. So I felt
want me to add to that?
Sure, go for it.
Jeanette Nugent.
Do I know?
So remember Jeanette? Yes, remember she's the lady when we were at SIP that a little bit of a can disagree. Well, she's had brain bleeds, and we've seen her. She was in the hospital ready to go home, and then she had another more, and this was due to her lupus, and she's had to take this drug that a side effect is what is it, Jill? Side effect is because it is a brain
stroke or bleeding from the brain.
A stroke. Yeah, something like a stroke. So anyway, then she was slurring her words a second time and was a little bit nauseous when she walked too much. And then Carol and I went to see her just the other day. She's now in the hospital, not in the rehab. She can't speak at all. She's being fed through her nose. She's no coordination, no ability to get up. I just don't see. I think she's on the way out, and that just so quick.
Isn't that wild?
Isn't it wild? Yeah.
Yeah. We've had like two people have cardiac arrests and pass away as well this week.
Really?
Wow.
And passed away?
I'm funeral-tastic again. I'm back to doing funerals all the time again. But yeah, two people with cardiac arrests.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, something's changing in the big heart, I guess. So there you go. Yeah. Anyways, not that it's a downer or anything, but something's going on. It's like really interesting about all that. So should we just line up and do whatever there is for us to do with all of that and with the greatness of everything. So let's just see what happens. Okay, here we go. Okay. God, when we get together like that and we go collective, it's such a joyful, joyous thing. I can't, when we do that, I can't find anything wrong with anything. I can't see any problems. It doesn't exist in that space or vibration of us somehow. what I was wondering is, of course, we were spreading good stuff all over the place. I'm almost like putting an enchantment on people. And I got to that because I was thinking about Becky, and she's had such a rough time recently. Her husband having cancer twice with all the radiation and the problems associated with that, and all the visitors, and then the floods, and then the fires, and then the, it's just been one thing after another. And here she left her home and followed her dream, and it's weird. I don't know why all that would happen, other than she's probably standing in a grand big space. She feels good to me. She feels like she's gonna come through this and live a long life. It doesn't feel like she's ready to go or anything, but there is an evolution of her being at another whole level coming through as well. So it was pretty neat, but it was like then we were just embracing everybody in this kind of enchantment for all the people in the world, to kind of uplift things for them so that no matter what happens, it occurs differently. That's what I got. Hi, Carol.
Hi. Sorry I'm late. I
That's
was
okay.
on my walk.
Oh, good for you. I love it.
I did meet Leslie.
Yay. Fantastic. We were just tuning in, so we're just sharing what we got. Anybody else?
I got the same thing, that you can't see anything, because there is nothing wrong. And everybody's getting whatever it is. Like I could see for Jeanette's daughter, she's actually really strengthened. So there'll always be, but I was almost wishing for my perspective to shift, that I always could see the gift in everything and help to articulate it, to spread, just strengthen everything, there. And then also to just bring people more into their own strength and power. So possibly not so much of this had to occur the way it's occurring. If that was, but anyway, but there, certainly there's nothing wrong. Yeah.
Carol, we were just, sorry, I just muted you for a minute there if I muted you. We were just talking about that Becky had a heart attack yesterday and is in the hospital. So that, and then multiple other things are going on as well. So we were just looking at all that and see kind of what to do with it. So there you go. So anybody else? What'd you get?
I was just basking in the connection because I haven't connected with all of you for a long time, and I too sort of thought, well, I looked around to see, and I thought, well, that there is a rightness in the frequency that you're in, and it just felt really lovely to be connected all together again, and but I do feel that we are now completely in the new, and that the things that can't go into that are being brought up for people to deal with, and the perfection and the unfolding of that. It is interesting times.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, it wasn't like my most expanded stuff, but the first place I went was there being more of a, like, the heart opening energies around. So I was just trying to make that easier, but I didn't know whether that was true or just a story I made up, because it all just seems to be about cardiac arrest. But then I went to Becky and just felt her complete joy, and it felt like she was helping the transition of this energy movement, whatever it was that was coming in, that was opening people up, and that some people were not struggling with, but to make it easier, to make that move, that shift easier. And then as I felt her joy and her embracing all these people, I don't know what it was, but then this energy just came through my body, and I just felt just very present. It was just like this grounding, present, clear energy just went through my body and kind of landed. So, yeah.
Well, I was basking in the energies as well, and it was very joyful energies. I didn't focus particularly on anybody, just feeling the energies was very beautiful and joyful. Yeah.
You're on mute, Leanne.
I could relate to what Adriana was saying about, the frequency during the eclipse, before and after. Every time I sort of sat down and tune in, I feel this drawn, this pull from the heart space to the lunar atmospheric thing. There was a certain pull, and I just flow with it. And speaking to some people I met the next day, and they did report that they felt uneasy. They weren't able to sleep because they were feeling this uneasiness around them, around the chest area. So I suppose it's got something to do with whatever came through and how you respond to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's like I said, I think it was last Monday that I was talking about heart space, about heart resonance.
Yeah.
How, whether your heart is resonating to the frequency that is pulling you or shifting you, or how you respond to that. And if there is any, I don't know, disharmony or discord or some resistance, then you naturally will feel it physically.
It does.
I don't. That's my personal take on it.
It does. There's certainly one of the things I've noticed in the last week, and maybe since the eclipse, but it's so easy for me now to be in big energy. You could say all the time, although I'm not all the time walking around with it. But I remember like years ago, it would be like, okay, is there energy? Yeah, sometimes. You know what I mean? And now I just go boom, bang, there it is. It's always there. It's not ever not there for me to do something with now, which I think is a kind of change from some of the past. And also we were working last week on both calls, Monday and Tuesday, about how we create reality. And then I think you saw it was really interesting. I do think it's subtle thoughts and beliefs that do it, and emotions. It's all of a combo of that. But, about us getting the Wi-Fi, that was pretty magic because it was all getting screwed up, by bureaucracy constantly. And in order for me to change it, I just had to go, those people that are dealing with it want to help us. And within like literally 12 hours, the Wi-Fi went green. And I was supposed to be another 2 weeks before it even happened. So it was really interesting. And the woman in EE who called us back was so lovely. She stayed with it. She called her supervisor. They called PT. She just did a beautiful job with it. It was really like a real example of, she really wanted it to work for us. So I thought that was really interesting, that how much of a quick response we have to reality now, in any way, shape, or form that we, perceive it. So it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nancy, didn't you have your meeting this Saturday?
Yeah.
Tell us what
And, well, it's actually a taker because we were working in the quantum field as well. So like you're just saying about your reality creating. So Jill had a whole bunch of questions in her head about what this quantum field is and all that. And it brought us to a good, like we all realize that we're all using the quantum field and bandying it about for years or whatever, but we actually didn't really know what it was, right? So we were kind of tuning in and doing, and then on that blue super moon, whatever, a few of us got together and we were at Jill's house and we tuned in, and for the first time, we actually were delving into it. And that's what I'd like to know everybody's view on the call here. as to what you actually do when you access it and what does it mean to you. So for me, I went way down into my body, and I did feel like I had my hand out and was altering DNA, whatever what I wanted with my joints, my weight, all that stuff. And so for the first time, it gave me an experience of the field. And Leanne had said on the call about, just put your hand out and change reality. But that didn't, it's like I didn't relate to that, meaning, oh, I just put my hand out like this and my new car comes, for Sophia, the new house, and it didn't make sense. But in that experience of it going in, I actually did find my hand out and moving things. So for the first time, I kind of understood what she meant, because you actually had an experience of it. And then since then, too, so we're all, and so at the meeting, we brought it to, we asked Mark about, because he's always talking about the quantum field and love that. So we were asking people what they thought about it too. And we actually, again, went in and actually got some experience of it. And I think we brought it to a whole new level for everybody in this reality creating. And just today, I'm realizing, oh my God, I have lost some weight and my joints are feeling a bit better. Jill's changed things on her skin. Carol, you are finding some differences. But so as you say, like with your Wi-Fi, it's like wherever we put our attention to now seems to be responding to us in a whole new way. Mm-hmm. And it just seems so much like we definitely all the time now out of that linear world and into this quantum one, which the leaps are, it's a leap in something that happens, not a linear next stage, is what, which we kind of knew too. But what's so exciting is that it's the experience of it now that's at the conscious awareness in these deeper levels of us. Because of course it was always there. We just weren't I don't feel we were accessing it in a conscious way that made a huge difference in our life. And it just seems that that's now what 2018 is about, where the field is all around us now. It's not like you have to go get it or anything either. We are in this field, but it's very exciting and quite the adventure to see what actually can we do in it all the time to really change things on all levels. So it's nice to hear about your Wi-Fi as well, not just a physical body or something like that. So anyway, open for all you guys to, what is it, the quantum field for you, and what are you noticing if you experience it?
Yeah.
Don't all speak at once.
I had a real experience of it being being my whole body. The whole body is the field, and the pre-creational space, the spaces between the cells and molecules, that was expanding and going deeper and deeper into all of that. To me, it was a very exciting process. It just felt incredibly enlivening and experiential. It was a real experience of the body as the quantum field, the quantum being, if you like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense to me too.
Because I've often been out of body and doing all the work out there, whereas it's been a total reverse for me as being right within myself, particularly the pre-creational space.
Yeah, that is how it feels for me too. This is the center point of the relationship or the consciousness with it. And I would say at one point the quantum field was a pathway or a field of limitless potential, but now it's infused with this infinite intelligence, with the beingness of it, us, as one thing. And so I don't feel disconnected from it. I can go 3D-ish, like I did with Lloyd's Bank last week with some stuff, but I could see I slipped right into humanness with it, and you could see me go. It was really interesting. And then I just kind of sat back and went, And of course, then everything went wrong from there. It just kept getting worse and worse, and I couldn't even catch myself. So I was just annoyed as all get out. So, but when you just sit in this place and you be the field of it, as you say, Jill, you are it, and you be the whole field of it, then everything responds to you in a quantum fashion from there. It's like, I think there's a big next level of awareness and creation for us in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Andrea,
I
you had
experienced, sorry, I did experience Leanne with the putting her hand into the matrix. Well, I didn't. I put it into the pre-creational space, and I just became the energy. The arm became the energy of that moving white energy that was going through that, and it is like a gel-like substance that you go into, and I felt that. I experienced it.
Yeah. My thoughts were going faster than I could speak, so I can't remember what it was. And that often happens to me, because I'm very present in myself, and also very aware of quantum field in me and around me, and I could work, simultaneously in it and out of it. It sounds weird, but when I was younger, I used to play a lot of this matrix quantum thing, because at one time Merlin was very close to me, and I actually experienced the magic of what he does. It's, in many years ago, when I speak about Merlin's magic, people think I'm crazy. They don't know what I'm talking about. So I zip my mouth. I don't talk about it anymore. But I learned a lot from those experiences.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's still around me. And I still remember the times when true magic really happens.
really
Like
good
when
for you.
Good for me, yeah.
Not
But
really, not
sometimes,
lucky you. That's fantastic.
yeah, sometimes, I'm usually aware when I'm out of body, and I bring myself back very quickly if I'm with somebody. Otherwise, they were wondering what's happening. Yeah, like I say, my thoughts is going faster than I could speak. So
if
I'll
you
let
told
somebody
us
else.
those stories, we couldn't get enough of them. We love those guys. We don't think you're crazy. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was about 20 years ago, when Merlin was around me. And when they put me into trance, I actually channeled Merlin, and people laughed. They actually recorded it and played it back to me and told me how funny I sound.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Adriana, what about you in the field? You said you're doing different stuff.
Well, I was a bit like what you were saying about the Saturday group. I've heard different meanings of what the quantum field means, and I live with an engineer, and he has a completely different take on it as well. And so if I look inside the body, the central core of us now feels like it's sort of like the master station, so to speak, where all the light comes through, that lights it up and then goes through to every cell of the body and changes all the cells of the body. And through that, then you can do what you were saying about putting the hand in the body and healing different parts of the body and things like that. And seeing the field in front of me now, it's like a full creational space where you walk towards it, and you see what you want to see in front of you, and everything that aligns with that magnetizes towards you to start to shape it and make it happen. And it feels very tangible, very real, and it's a joyous thing, and it as you're doing that, it automatically dissolves a lot of the things that have ever held you back in the past. Past things, you get filled up with that as you're walking forward and creating the reality as you walk forward, and automatically the other stuff just dissolves away.
Yeah. It's like more.
Shmir, what about you? What do you think of the quantum field? How are you using it?
It's actually really interesting, the conversation, because I haven't really played with it in that way. And when you said quantum field, I couldn't, it's like where I play and what the quantum field was felt a bit different. And but so I've just been playing with it while you've been talking and bringing it into my body and seeing how that works. I do feel, it feels to me like there's a new way of creating that because it might be the same thing, but for me it's this white space of pure potential almost, and that there's a new way of creating in that I haven't come to yet, but it feels like it's being born almost. So I'm kind of in a different space with it, but I'm loving what everybody's saying and feeling and experiencing that in my body. It feels amazing.
And if you had the names being the same or whatever like that, that's exactly where we are. We've discovered this space. We're calling it quantum, but if it's a white space because you see it, I mean, whatever, we're discovering a space where we're now finding we actually can alter something and it really is happening. So, and that's what you're discovering too, like, and how do you do it more really, like.
Yeah, but I think from this space, there isn't a something that you're altering. You just create it. So that's where it feels different. So I'm not trying to change anything that exists because nothing exists. So I'm just creating it from that pure space.
Oh, I like that. Because I'm sure I could do the same, but that's good. So that's given me a different idea. Yeah, go into the body and just create what you want. Don't think it's from the DNA or something. So that's only my limited thinking that has created me to think I have to change something instead of, and the epigenetics. Like that whole field is making me think I have to go into the, but I love so you've just opened me to the field. I don't need any of that. I just have to go in and create.
Yeah,
so
because your body doesn't really exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you did see this huge big space with all these atoms in it. When you went, the deeper you went, you just saw this huge space that was, like, oh my God. So just move things around differently and create something different.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that. Thanks. Yeah.
I'm loving this conversation. It feels like there's something that's being born that I can't wait to play more with somehow. There's something.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Like Jill had seen a whole bunch of different conversations that a chemist, a psychologist, I don't know, all these different fields look at the quantum field differently. But I see it almost like that same analogy where it's the elephant is the whole field, and it has infinite possibilities of quantum leaps possibilities there, and it just depends on where you want to look at it, that you're touching a certain thing. So of course the chemist would be interested in the chemistry side, the physicist from that side, because the woman, the Australian of the year was a woman out in Perth who's from Britain, but she's here and she's using the quantum field and those quasi-molecule, the new things they've discovered, quasi whatever matter, to create a computers that completely will change the way everything will be more instant. And she says what's great about Australia is they don't like authority, so they actually are still thinking for themselves. And that was in her speech, and it was just so good. So she's using all of that. And then you see Elon Musk using it to change the face of the world as we know it. So It's almost like us too. What can we go in and create now? Not recreate, but create around whatever it is we want and are interested in. And yes, but I just love that for the first time I'm getting some practical handle on it for myself, as opposed to just words that I've heard and have a little bit of a definition on, but it's not a real living experience like seems to be unfolding.
I like to share something before it goes away. I've been experiencing something like this, and I believe it's got something to do with splitting the atoms. When something caught my attention, or when I want to create something out of nothing, I don't go searching for it. I just focus on the energy that's present in me. And then, like Ushma used to say, the neon white light, right? You get a burst of that neon white light and you get massive energy explosion. And that's a shift.
And would you notice after in real
It's something that you need to experience yourself in order to feel, the energy actually, the explosion of the energy. You actually feel it in your body.
And can you define afterwards, Leanne, what the shift was?
There's a shift in your current state.
Yeah. Okay. And can you know what the shift is?
Maybe in a couple of days you might notice some changes.
Yeah. Okay.
Some
cool.
subtle, some more immediate.
Yeah.
But it's like, focusing or send. Some people say focus. Some people say put your energy into that which you wish to create. And usually I don't bring up a picture. Like, if you want to create Bitcoins, you don't put the picture there. You just feel the energy till, you get this neon white light comes on. It's like splitting atoms. When you split atoms, you got massive release of energy. And it will go where it's needed. And you actually, when it happens to you and you actually feel, the boost of energy in your body.
Yeah, cool.
I want to talk about this from my perspective, from a slightly different place. And this might be just the way I'm orienting to it, but for me, it's about my relationship with the infinite that is presencing itself in us, through us, in the earth, in the universe, in the consciousness, in all of it. And it's that what used to be invisible, that was separate, you'd go to it. And now I have this growing relationship that I am it, it is me, it is all, I am all, that kind of thing. So the fusion of what is me and what is it, with its power and its new dreaming, is my term for it, is so fused. It's like you could say a new becoming as we become infinites, but I am becoming the infinite everything. Therefore, when I relate to consciousness, something different happens because my come from place is different, if that makes sense. It's like it's not me trying to alter consciousness, which is what I would have done over the years past. It's me, it, everything inside a new possibility of us that's undefined and limitless. That's interested creating, but it's funny because there's a paradox. I am its creator, but it's already been dreamed. It's good. I don't know how to talk about it, but it's like I was trying to write about the new book when it comes through. I'm not channeling but it's not me writing it. It's a complete paradox. There's not a word of it that is me writing it, because I wouldn't choose some of those words that are coming through, and I just watch it come through. And yet I don't feel like I'm channeling, because I and it are the same thing now. If that makes sense. Any of you, are you feeling anything like that?
I think the concept of what you're saying, I
Part
do.
of you? Sorry.
Go ahead, Jill. No, go ahead, Jill.
Isn't that another part of you that you've actually gathered to yourself, that is actually expressing, being able to express now in a different way?
It doesn't feel like that to me. It doesn't feel like part of me, no. It feels like the infinite everything and I are fused. And I don't think, I mean, of course we all came from there originally, but I don't think that was any me in the past. It doesn't feel like me. It feels like more and more of a surrender of me in any way to become the infinite everything. And therefore that then reshapes me in the new becoming.
I do feel similar. I mean, again, I do different words probably. And someone said to me, "Oh, keep channeling," and I didn't correct them, but because in a way, it feels like it's something coming through, but as you said, it's not channeling because it is me that it's coming from. But it's really hard to describe. But and like I say, probably I wouldn't resonate 100% with the words you're using, but the experience I do feel, is the same thing.
Yeah. It's not an improvement. It's not an improvement of me, is what I'm saying. Is there's no improvement of me in it.
No.
It's something else, and I'm becoming that.
Don't you feel as though you've lost more of yourself, of the human you, when you have those other parts that it's like you're shedding anything that you ever known before, and you just and this is all something new that's there.
Yeah, that's how it feels to me. It's that relationship. So it used to be there was me, there was the field, and I was impacting the field, but it doesn't feel like that anymore. The field and I are fused into one infinite relationship with a new level of power that is the presencing of that infiniteness. Yeah.
I'd have to agree with Ushma that I don't always resonate with every one of the words or that concept that you're putting together, and that's irrelevant. But the experience is the same. And this is, again, we're all coming to the same thing through our different, through our different perceptions of something. But when I had the experience of this, I'm calling it the quantum field, and who knows if that's even what it was, because I'm just naming that. But and fell into this and saw all the molecules and saw that is an understanding of something more than I've ever had the concept of, and any of these other mystical experiences you might have had that just all it did. So I don't feel like I'm letting go of anything or whatever. I just feel like I'm delving deeper into the truer reality and leaving behind limited realities.
Yeah.
That we would have maybe named human, or we maybe beliefs, but that was just a limited perception. And as I'm digging down deeper to this whole new field of discovery that I've never experienced before, things are letting go because I am understanding some greater truth of myself. And whatever words I put to it is fine. But that's why it's so easy to let this go, because it's like, oh my God, I didn't understand I was this. And then that changes immediately as we go. And now that we're in a quantum field, well, it's probably going to change quantumly. And so I'm just understanding the deeper truth that's always been there.
Yeah.
Something about that. Yeah.
I guess what I'm pointing to as well is that the work that we have done together over the years has taken the consciousness or the field and altered it substantially. Like it's not the same as it was as consciousness before we did all this. And we're not the same in relationship with that. So wherever our come from places, and I can see they'll be different for all of us. It's like nuanced differences, but it has something now that is inherently infinitely intelligent and limitless, and possibilities abound in it. And we are no longer separate from it, coming to it, trying to change something. We are it, playing, creating, manifesting versions of reality as it. That's my impression of what's really altered. So, whatever we call it, it's different now than it was before because of the work I think we've done in the last 10 years. Neat, huh? Shall we play? Shall we go play? Let's see what happens with it.
Well, let's just see. Carol, do you want to weigh in on anything before we go play? You can't hear you on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had an experience the other night. I was watching TV and suddenly I was sort of overcome with a weird feeling. And so I just said, in my mind, I just said to take me to the core of that. And it was like a field. And so I heard straight away, the field is glowing. And as soon as I heard that, I was in that glow. I was watching it, and it was literally white glowing me in the middle. I don't know whether I was it or I was in the middle of it, but it was just a white glowing thing. And it did tell me a lot of information, which I didn't write down because I wanted to just stay in the experience of it. And now while you were all talking, I just had a look to see what that is now. And it's when I went to look, it was me. It was just part of me. It was like integrated or just part of me. It's no longer in a field around me or out anywhere. It's here. So, and I have noticed when I'm interacting with people, the main people that drive me around the twist in this journey of life, that I'm different. Like I only noticed walking on the beach, and it's not different better. It's just I noticed that I didn't have to some things that were talked about, and I could either stay in my silence or I didn't have to go looking for words to make a conversation or say the right thing or even think about that. It just was different. I just felt different. I can't actually pinpoint it, but there was something different, and it was okay.
Good. Okay, we gonna go play?
Yeah, let's do it before I disappear in light here. The sun and the stained glass stuff is going to hit me soon. I'll be probably here to see me.
Ushma, your neon light, Ushma, is showing up everywhere.
Yeah, you're becoming the glow.
Yeah, because I notice if I move into it, it's like you can hardly see me.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Okay, let's play. Here we go. Gosh, that was just so beautiful. You could tell as I looked at all of you that you were kind of feeling that beauty of it as well. It was amazing. But I could feel our collectiveness, and we were the infinite, the field, the possibilities of us. It's so hard. There's once a new name, and I can't quite find what it is yet, but it'll come. And I did hear the term infinifusion, and it was like it was a fusion of the infinite and us, and the field, and the quantum, and the possibilities. And so it just felt so beautiful to be that as all of us, and I could see as if we were building a field of a future that was so beautiful, just full of beautiful, beautiful possibilities of us. And then I decided to take it to something I'm at work on to see how it would apply. And I've been at work on kind of abundance in all the ways, we would do that and all the possibilities. And I had the thought the other day, well, I'm only doing it from what I think I can do. Why don't I open that up to, it might surprise me. But even then, in the opening it up to surprise me, I just realized I had certain limitations on how that was going to happen. So I opened up the field of possibility around it. And it was like everything was already trying to rush into me, towards me. There were things I can't even imagine. And I had to open to those being available in my reality, in my field, in me, and let them come. And that was a kind of new experience, actually, for me. It was a kind of surrender and receiving at the same time as, I don't know, it just had such beauty to it. It was an amazing experience.
That's fantastic, Sylvia. I just played inside the body for this slim, lithe, and graceful, youthful body that I'm at work on. And thank you, Ushma, because I'm just in there creating now. I'm not changing things. And it's just fun. And I just feel like I was doing spirals, and everything was responding and sending it where I want. So it's just having fun in there. And I'm just going to do that, as much as calls me, and then notice the differences, subtle difference. So watch this space.
I can't say where I was really. I just I wanted to just have an experience of that field again, and I didn't really have. I was just there, just feeling the energy, moving with it. Nothing huge jumped out that I can remember.
It was very similar. It just I just let it move, and it came through my body. It's weird because whereas I was it before, this is like probably about a year ago or so. I kind of I don't know. It felt I've been working on other things, and I just haven't felt that energy as much over the last few months. But then I just let it move through me, and then it was like it went out. And it was like the world was ready for it now somehow. So it went out into becoming more accessible for more people. And then like the first creations from it started bubbling through. So I don't know what they'll be yet, but I could feel like the first things that are being born from it were coming through.
Oh, I do remember I couldn't see my brain. There was no brain there, even though it said that there was something new. It was an upgrade, but but there was actually, like when I went there was nothing there, just a space and just energy. So there wasn't even like a physical body to look at. There was no boundaries, no physical body. It was just energy and white in color, white.
Well,
There'd be quite a few people would be quite happy for me that I've finally come to the realization that I've no brain.
Well, I was exploring pure consciousness, and and getting lots of words back and forth, and it was very beautiful. Just lovely energy with the whole thing. It was just lovely.
I was witnessing something as I went into that. It was like I was watching a movie, a cinema, and it was like the particles of the becoming of us, and I saw it, and it really moved me actually when I was watching this. It was like the particles of our total becoming were in play for us to become, and I saw that you can take the total becoming of us within you, and it kind of sets a new framework for the infinite us to come in, and so the total becoming of us is like the prelude or the precursor to the infinite selves of us. And as I was witnessing that, then I sort of invited that to be in there, and you see the total infiniteness of us, and it was it really moved me in the sense that there was this dance almost of perfection in the way the energies align and move and collaborate, if you like, which is a funny word, but to bring us to our infinite selves.
Yeah. I would say the same, Andrea, that the sense of our collectiveness wasn't like individuals connecting. And even though we each have such a different orientation, there was such a synergy, such a fusion, such an alignment, and a rightness of it all. It's hard to even describe it. Oh, I do remember something that came to me when we started it, because I could feel the beauty of our being together as it, as us. And I remember thinking, where do we all meet? Where is it our come from place where we all meet? And it was in all of us, there is, I guess, a desire or a yearning or an orientation to goodness and greatness. And it was that sprung forth from us to activate the field of us, or the consciousness, reality of us. It was just so beautiful. I think we've really hit something as a collective that's far beyond what we've experienced before. Beautiful.
There was a similar feeling when I was up on the mountain looking at unfortunately with the eclipse of the moon, it was all clouded over, but we went up about 4 hours earlier and saw the supermoon, and that same pull, that same magnetism, that same drawing to be near, I felt like I could sprout wings and fly to the moon. It was such a pull. And as I was listening to the core of what everyone has said on the call tonight, every single person was saying the same thing but in a different way, and I think that's the power of the collective, because it's the central core in multiple expressions.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anything for you from that? Hey, go ahead, Ishma.
No, nothing.
Okay. Okay, good.
I just was going to say that it's been a really cool call. I love this conversation. It's a lovely way to start the day.
Yeah, we've been going on it for about a week now, and with the group too, and it's just it's getting yummier.
Yeah.
as we more experience of it. Yeah.
I agree.
And as we all share, it does enrich everybody's, because it gives it, well, it's given me more ideas. So it's actually can be a solider, more good experience. Whereas if you're just doing it on your own, you're limited to your own thinking. Outside the, everybody else's, the flavors are all in there, and it's a lot more yummier when shared.
Definitely.
That'd go, Carol.
I've been so tired lately. It's ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
Well, you look pretty great. I love your new hairdo. It looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I won't
And
complain.
your blouse.
My blouse.
She looks very glamorous.
You're off the shoulder.
I'm supposed to wear it like that, but my shoulders keep knocking it back up again. Plus, I've got it like a sports brown, and underneath it's not very attractive.
Let's give it one more, unified collective, whatever we're doing. Let's give it one more go, shall we? Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. It just brought me to tears. And I thought to myself how much I love you all. We as a group of people are unique to what exists in the human race. We have absolute trust in one another completely. There's never any conflict between us. Even if there was a tiny bit of conflict, we would resolve it perfectly immediately through some kind of conversation. It would just work beautifully.
Is there absolute honesty and kindness and, dare I say, love between all of us? It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And we're not there for ourselves or for anything small. We're there for ourselves, for greatness and goodness and the awesomeness of the world and the universe to show up. And it's our orientation. And so after I sat in that for a while and was moved to tears, then we gifted that relationship to one another to the world. They didn't have to operate the way they operate, from separation, from individuality, from smallness, from pettiness. They don't have to operate from that. They could operate from this place because it's embedded and real and alive in us now. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the accountability for us to push each other to the more and the more and the more. And that's why any conflict or disagreement at any level is only pushing us to the more. And that's to me, I look at as honesty too. Like, you're going to say what you're really thinking so that it can get moved on and pushed forth. And it's just so countable to just the growth and the search is what's foremost for all of us. And
Yeah.
that's yeah, it's just so happy to have found everybody, found them for that, and yeah, it's really nice. And it was a
And
gifting as well. Yeah.
I saw all these light streams coming down, and some of them had different colors, and underneath was just a pure white, like a white line, and so I just engaged with that and asked a few questions, and all of the streams were all of our streams, our individual streams coming in, and they were all the new stuff coming in, not what we've been up to now. And underneath was just a pure white light stream, and so it was all flowing into that, and you could either go into the pure white light stream and experience all the streams at the same time and just flow with all of that and or you could go individually and you could have your own and explore your own within all of that, or you can take anybody's here on the call and explore theirs.
Yeah.
It was really, I'm going to have fun with it.
Anybody else want to add anything? Oh, okay. Oh, that was just beautiful. I feel like we've hit a pinnacle of another level of ourselves. You know, I'm sure there'll be more to come, but it feels like we achieved something that we've been at work at quite a while. It's just beautiful. Oh, thank you. Okay. Love you all.
Thank you, everybody. Awesome.
Okay.
Have a great week. Talk to you next
Yeah.
week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.